Okay, hello everyone. All right, so let's talk about multiple nested if statement or multiple nested decision structures. Okay, so let's use an example program so I can kind of use that to explain what multiple nested if statements are or what multiple nested decision structures are. All right, so in this program, we're going to be accepting user information. So let's use one of Java's features for accepting user information, all right? In the last program, we used the GOption pane class. So in this one, let's use the scanner class. And to use the scanner class, we have to import java.util.scanner. We are importing the scanner class located in the java.util package, located in the Java API. All right. So with the scanner class, we have to go ahead and create a scanner object. So I'm going to create a scanner class type variable, and I'm going to call it keyboard. This keyboard variable is going to hold the memory address of a scanner object. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the scanner object here. I'm going to go ahead and create a new scanner, and this scanner object has methods that can convert the user's information to whatever data type that we need it to be in. So I'm going to use the in method to accept input from the user, but then that input is going to be in byte info, B-Y-T-E, byte info. We are connecting that input to the scanner object we are creating over here, because the scanner class has methods we can use to convert that user input, which is really in byte info, to any data type that we want. All right. So now let's display to the user. So the idea of the program is this. Imagine there's a boutique that sells handbags, and the premium handbags they are selling is worth $5. They also have other bags worth $4 and other bags worth $3. So this store sells $5 bags, $4 bags, and then $3 bags. Now we are assuming that every user that's going to the store is aiming to buy, or is aiming to ask for. Let's say this store is advertising the $5 bags. We are assuming that every user is going there to kind of either ask for the price of the $5 bag or attempts to buy that $5 bag with whatever money they have on them. Right? We are assuming they're all going to buy that $5 bag. They didn't plan to buy the $4 bags or the $3 bags. All what the store is showing is the $5 bags. So let's ask the user first of all. Assuming the user comes to the store, let's ask them how much money do they have. Assuming they wanted to buy that $5 bag, which is being displayed by the store. That's the only bag they're displaying. But behind the scenes, they have $4 bags and $3 bags. So let's create an if statement here. Before that, let's display to them. Okay, let's ask them how much money they have. So system.else.println, how much money do you have, right? So we're going to display this to the user, and then let's use the scanner object. I'm going to call keyboard.nextDouble to ask the user how much money they have. So this keyboard.nextDouble over here is going to, we are using the scanner object. It's going to pop up some kind of a text box, and it's going to allow the user to type in something. Now, whatever the user types is going to be converted to a double, and it's going to be returned back to us. Okay, so it's going to be sent back to us. And when it's being sent back to us, we need a place to store it. So I'm going to come up here. Since it's sending us a double, since it's returning a double, I'm going to define a double variable, and I'm going to call it user money, right? And whatever the next double method is returning, whatever data, okay, which has been converted to a double, is being returned. So the user is going to type in something, right? And this next double method is going to take that input and then convert it to a double and send it to us. So user money, which we define up here, is going to store that value. All right. Now let's go ahead and use an if statement. I'm going to go ahead and create an if else structure. Okay. We want to first of all check to see if the user can buy the $5 bag. Right? In a normal store, a user comes to the store. If they ask for the price of the bag, and we tell them $5. If they have $5 or more, we sell the bag to them, right? If they don't have the money, we tell them to go, or not in a harsh way, right? In a very nice way. We tell them You can't buy the bag. Sorry. So let's check to see if the user's money. And before I continue with this, the way we are going to implement multiple nested if statement multiple nested if statement or multiple nested decision structures, the way we're going to implement it right now is not the best way to do it. It can get messy, but I want you to see it so you know that it's possible. So when you're doing it, you know that it's possible, but at the same time, it's not the best way to do it. Now we'll end up with the same program, but in a more in a better way, in a much better way. The kind of way that most programmers use, which is much cleaner and easier to read. But the way we are going to do it right now still works, but it can be really messy. All right, so we check to see if the user's money is greater than or equal to, let's say, the price of the bag, which is $5. Now we can go ahead and write $5 here, or we can store it in a final value. We can store it as a constant. And we know constant, we start with a keyword final. So let's define one. Final, let's define it as a double because that's the price of a bag. The price can go up to, let's say, $5.25 or $5.50. It can be changed later on. It can be updated. So final double, let's call this price of a bag. Now when you're naming constant values, by convention, it's all uppercase. And if it's more than one word, you separate them with underscores. So price underscore of bag. We can store it this way. Well, let's initialize it to $5, right? So if the user's money is greater than or equal to the price of the bag, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. If it's greater than or equal to $5, that means they can buy the bag, right? If they have $10, we sell the bag to them for $5. We give them change of $5. If they have exactly $5, we give them the bag. That means they can buy the bag. So in that case, we tell them, let's go ahead and copy the system.out.println statement. We tell them that they can buy the bag. So we just tell them, here you go. We tell them you can buy the bag. Here you go. Right. Or in order to make the program even much cleaner, let's go ahead and use the values stored in these variables, right? So let's say that let's go ahead and remove this and then say this. I didn't want to confuse you while I'm editing it in the string, but let's do it just so you can actually get comfortable with it. So let's say something like your amount of this amount, right, is enough to buy a bag worth this amount, right? So let's say let's go ahead and close the string here, and then we are closing the string here, and then let's concatenate it with the price of the how much money the user has. So your user money, right, and then let's concatenate it with a string. Let's continue with the string here. So that's the beginning of the string, and that's the ending of the string here. So your user money is enough to buy and then now we want to go ahead and concatenate it with the value stored in the price of the bag constant. So your user money is enough to buy let's go ahead and concatenate it with the price of bag here, and then let's concatenate it with another double string and say bag. So if the user typed in 2, say your $2, right, is enough. Let's say your $2 is enough to buy the $5 bag, right? Because that's what's stored over here. All right. Now in a normal store, if they don't have the money, we tell them, sorry, you can't buy the bag. So let's go ahead and do that too. Let's tell them, sorry, you can't buy the bag. Else, right, if the money is not greater than or equal to the $5, then let's tell them that your user money, like your $5 or $5 or your $4 or something like that, anything less than $5 is not, right? I'm using not here. Well, let's just make it lowercase. It's not enough to buy the $5 bag. All right, so let's test this out. Compile this and run it. This is how most stores work. If you have the money, they sell it to you. If you don't have the money, they tell you, sorry, you can't buy it. How much money do you have? We say 7. and it says your $7 is enough to buy the $5 bag. Let's forgot to put a space here, and space here, right? Your $7 is enough to buy the $5 bag. Now we will learn how to format values so that they can read as real monetary values, like with a dollar sign and commas in between them. We'll learn how to format numbers that way. But for now, let's just read these numbers as they are, as monetary values. Compile this. Now let's enter something lower than the $5. Let's enter 3 and hit enter. It says your $3 is not enough to buy the $5 bag, right? All right. So in the last video, we learned that we can put if statement in if statement. So we put an if statement, okay, in an if statement in the last program over here. Now you can also put an if statement in the else part of this if else structure. You can also do that. You can embed if statement in either side of it. Put an if statement here, put an if statement here. You can do that in each section. It depends on what you're doing. But over here, if they don't have the money to buy the bag, instead of just telling them that your money is not enough to the price of the bag, to buy the $5 bag, we can check to see the store has extra bags in stock, but then it's not $5, it's less than $5. They have $4 bags and they have $3 bags. Instead of telling them to go, we can tell them, hey, you can buy this bag, but at the same time, your $4 or your $3 is enough to buy the other bags that we have. So if their money is equal to $4, we can check. We can have an if statement here, right? And this is similar to what we did. We kind of embedded an if statement in our if statement, but we put it in this section. This time you're putting it in the else section. It depends on what we're doing, all right? Instead of telling them straightforward that, let's go ahead and comment this line here because we don't need it for now. Because we're not going to tell them that, you can't buy it, so sorry, right? We want to first of all check to see if their money, before we go ahead and tell them to go, we want to check to see if their money is it's equal to $4, right? Because we have $4 bags. So if the user money is equal to, I'm using double equals to compare. If I use one equal, I'm assigning what's on the right to what's on the left. If I'm using double equals, then I'm asking, is what's on the right equal to what's on the left? So if the user money is equal to $4, for example, then let's tell them that I'm going to copy the system.out.print statement. Let's tell them that your $4 is first of all, not enough to buy the $5 bag, okay? But it's, so let's go ahead and concatenate the string with another string, but then on the next line, because I know I'm going to go off the screen here. So I'm going to concatenate the string with another string. I'm going to hit enter and continue on the next line. It's just like I have another string here concatenated. I'm just going to type in anything, but because I'm going off the screen, I'm just going to separate them with a plus sign here. I'm going to concatenate them, but I'm going to shift this to the next line. All right, let me just go ahead and delete this. All right, so your $4 is not enough to buy the $5 bag, right? 5 is stored in price of bag, but it's enough to buy our $4 bags. And this is when the user's money is equal to $4, right? All right, so if their money, first of all, if it's not equal to $5, and if it's not equal to $4, right, then let's have an else section here. Before we tell them that, oh, you don't have any money, you can't buy anything, then, before we tell them, we're kind of giving them an option. We're saying, okay, if you have $4, you can buy a $4 bags. Else, then we're sorry, you can't buy the $5 bag or the $4 bag. So else, we tell them now. Let's copy this statement here. Else, we tell them your user money, okay, is not enough to buy the $5 bags, right? Or the $4 bags. Let's just do something like that. That's $4 bags. Okay. All right. So I hope you follow this list logic. So let's test this out. Compile and then run. Actually, let's go ahead and delete this line just so it's a bit much cleaner or not too confusing. All right. Compile and then run. how much money do you have? I'm going to enter $5. We know I can buy the bag when I do that, right? Your $5 is enough to buy the $5 bag. Let's run it again, but I'm going to enter 4 now and hit enter. It says your $4 is not enough to buy the $5 bag, but it's enough to buy our $4 bags, right? Kind of makes sense, right? I think I had an extra space in here somewhere. But I had 2 spaces. I had 1 space here and another space here. Let's just close one of them. All right, so that's kind of the idea. You can have an if statement in the else section of it too. Now we are talking about multiple nested if statement. So over here that we are nesting an if statement in another if statement. We can have even multiple if statement nested. So what I mean by that is, so over here we check to see if their money is equal to $5. If not, we check to see if their money is equal to $4. Now we also have $3 bags. So if the user's money is not equal to $4, instead of just telling them that, sorry, you can't buy the $5 or $4 bags. Instead of just telling them that you can buy the $5 or $4 bags, let's go ahead and also check. Before we do that, let's comment this out. Before we tell them they can buy the $5 or $4 bags, let's also check. So I commented that out. This line out. Sorry, hold on. It's kind of not indenting properly, I think, because let's just break it here. Let's just comment. Okay, it's not working. All right, let's just. This is part of the else part, but it's a comment now, so let's just do something like this. All right, so instead of just telling them you can buy the $5 or $4 bags, let's go ahead and also check to see if their money is equal to $3, right? Because the store sells $5, $4, or $3 bags. You can buy 5, you can buy the $4 bags. Then maybe your money is equal to $3. So let's check to see we can have another if statement in the else section of it, right? So it's kind of like we are nesting multiple if statements in this if statement here. We have one if statement here, and we are nesting another one in there. We can continue doing this over and over again. But like I said, this is not good practice. But let's just finish up this side of it, and then after we'll move to the much cleaner part, or much cleaner way to write multiple nested if statements, or create multiple nested decision structures. All right. So if the user money, now we're checking if the user money, before we tell them that, oh, you can buy the $5 or $4 bags, we're checking to see if the user money is equal to $3. And if that's the case, we tell them that. Let's go ahead and copy this statement. We tell them that your money is not enough to buy the $5 bags, right? Or now that's I need to kind of fix this because we're going off the screen now. All right, so the way I'll fix this is this. I'm going to go ahead and break this early. I'm going to concatenate it early here, somewhere here. So I think here is fine. I'm going to do it here. I want to say all the $4 bags. So I'm going to kind of concatenate it from here, right? Oops. I'm going to close the string first. Close the string here first. Right? And I'm going to concatenate it. And bear with me here. And hit enter. So I broke it. But this is a string here. All this is a string. So I'm going to start the string here. And then it's closed here. There's no need to concatenate this. I'm going to bring this back up because it can fit on one line here. There's no need to concatenate it. It's all a string, so I'm just going to merge it together. All right, so your user money is not enough to buy the $5 bag, or the $4 bag, but it's enough to buy our $3 bags. Okay, something like that. Okay, so I hope you didn't get confused when I was kind of fixing the string, but yeah, that's how to fix it, kind of. All right, we talked about that, I think, in one of the early videos. All right, so compile this. Well, we are not done with this section. Okay, so if the money is equal to $3, we tell them you can buy our $3 bags. But if it's not equal to $3, then that means it's less than 3, because first of all, it's not equal to 5, it's not equal to 4, it's not equal to 3. That means it's less than 3. Else, this is the time we tell them that, okay, now you can't buy anything else. You can't buy any bags. Sorry. So let's go ahead and create a system.out.println. Let me copy this line here and delete it. So else we tell them that now you can't buy any bags because now you don't have any money at all. So your user money, your, let's say $2, is not enough to buy, let's just say, any of our bags. All right. So I know this, it can be messy, right? When you're keeping track of it that way, it can be messy. But this is not the best way to create multiple nested if statements. We will fix it. I don't want you, like, don't do this. Although you can in some cases, to some extent, not as deep as this, but there's a better way to create multiple nested if statements, right? And we'll kind of fix this program to do just that. So compile this and run. If I come to the store aiming to buy the $5 bag, I tell them I have $3. Your $3 is not enough to buy the $5 bag or the $4 bag, but it's enough to buy our $3 bag, right? So I need to fix this here. Space. Okay. So we've kind of embedded more if statements. We've kind of put more if statements in our one if else structure here. This is what's called multiple nested if statements, but this is not the best way to do it. It can get really messy, kind of keeping track where the else is, or what, it can get messy. So there's a kind of neat way to do that. It's called an if else if statement. Hold on. Yeah, it's called an if else if statement. So let's use a comment here to kind of show you. It's an if, okay, else if statement. That's not how to write it in code. This is what it really is. It's not an if else statement, it's an if else if. So an if else if is just like a regular if else statement. So let's go ahead and modify this program, okay, to do that. But before that, I don't want to confuse you here, so I'm going to go ahead and comment all this. I'm going to use command / on Mac to do that. I'm going to comment all this out, and I'll first of all show you the structure. If else if works this way. It's just like an if else statement. Okay, but then instead of this portion being an else, it's an else if, else space if, and then we have another condition, and then we continue. If there's another condition we need to check, we have another else if, and then we continue. What happens if that condition is true? And then if none of these conditions are true, finally we have an else statement to do something if none of these conditions are true. But then if this condition is true, we do what's over here. Else, if this condition is true, we do what's over here. Else, if this condition is true, we do what's over here, and then we exit. Else, then we do what's here, and then we exit. Right? So if any of these conditions are true, we do what's in any of these compartments if the respective condition is true, and then we exit. If none of these conditions are true, we do what's in the else part, and then we continue, right? Instead of having an if else and in it we have another if else. This is the same thing as that, but this is a clean way to do that, right? So let's kind of change this program. Okay, let's kind of change this program to the structure over here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and comment this. I know this is a bit confusing, but don't be confused, right? I'm kind of working this through here so that you understand it. So I'm going to uncomment this. Oops. Hold on. I kind of forgot the shortcut to uncomment it, so I believe it's, hold on one second. Indent lines, uncomment lines. Okay, there's a button, there's a feature here to do that, but I can't. There's no shortcut for it. So let's just stick with that. Edit, uncomment lines. Great. All right. So we're going to change this so it kind of looks like this, much more organized. Same thing. If the user's money is greater than or equal to the $5, right? We tell them, okay, you can buy the bag. If it's not equal to the $5, we check to see if it's equal to $4. So instead of putting this if statement in our else section, we kind of create an else if. All right, so this is the condition, else if, right? I'm going to cut it from there. Don't get confused. Else if I'm kind of thinking, by the time I go through this, it will be confusing and you might get lost. So let's kind of work with this instead, right? I'm sorry about all this. I'm kind of finding the best way to kind of to show this. So let's comment this out and let's work with this, but we'll cut parts of this and we'll paste it here. So let's uncomment this. Same idea. All right, same idea. All right, so the first thing we're checking is if the user's money, right, I copy this, is greater than or equal to $5. That's what we're doing, right? If that's the case, then we are telling them that your money is enough to buy the $5 bag. So I'm going to paste this here like that. Else, if the user's money, right, is equal to $4, okay, we're pasting the condition here. Then we're telling them that, okay, you can buy the $5 bag, but your money is enough. Your money is enough to buy the $4 bags, right? Else, if, right, the user's money is equal to $3, right? So this is the condition. Then you can't buy the $5 or $4 bags, but you can buy the $3 bags. Else, now let's remove this comment. Else, then we tell you that you can't buy any of our bags. So it's much more cleaner. This is a much more clean way of creating multiple nested if statements. These are all if statements, but they're nested in a much cleaner way compared to this. This can be very hard to track. This is very simple. I'm not like really simple, but this is easy to follow because we check one condition. If you have the $5 you can buy it. Here you go. If not, we check to see if your money is $4. If it's $4, you can buy our $4 bags. If not, we check to see if your money is $3. If it's $3, then you can buy our $3 bags. But if your money is not equal to any of these conditions, then we tell you, okay, sorry, your money is not enough to buy any of our bags. This is a very can be a very complex way to write multiple nested if statement. We are nesting multiple if statement, in an if statement. Okay, and this is a very complex way. So I would recommend not to do this. I'm going to even go ahead and delete this, but then use this structure, this if-else structure, to kind of create your multiple nested if statement. Okay, so I kind of forgot to test this program out, and I ended the program. You probably haven't seen the end of this video yet, but this particular section here is a new video I'm just making now to test this program. So in my mind, I knew it would work. That's why I didn't test it out. But yes, once you're done with this, it's the same as the previous method we deleted over here. So let's test this out to see if it works. Compile and then run and tell them, okay, how much money do you have? We type in, let's say, $5, hit enter. It says your $5 is enough to buy the $5 bag, and the program ends. Compile and then run. How much money do you have? We say, let's say $4. Hit enter. It says your $4 is not enough to buy the $5 bag, but it's enough to buy our $4 bags. All right, compile and then run. 3. Same thing. Your $3 is not enough to buy the $5 bag or the $4 bag, but it's enough to buy our $3 bags. Compile. Let's type in 2, and it says your $2 is not enough to buy any of our bags. I meant to say any of our bags, not any of our bags. All right. Yeah. So, like I said, this section was a video I just made right now to merge it into it. Okay. All right. I know that this program was a bit rough and maybe confusing, but I hope that you followed. I hope that you kind of got it, right? So use this, and in some cases you'd use the other method to some extent. In some cases you will, but don't go that deep. With this, you can go ahead and create multiple ones. It's much cleaner it's much easier to understand, and it's cleaner. All right. If you have any questions, don't worry. We'll see more examples of this, so you get more comfortable with it, right? So don't worry too much about it. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next video. All right then. Bye bye.